currently, right now, B&M, does it actually suck?
I mean, yeah.
The first step is to admit it.
You know, in the words of RuPaul, you gotta step it up.
Hear that, B&M?
I'm Demi, theme park YouTuber, aka Magical Hijinks.
And I'm entertainment journalist Joey Nolfi, and we've both been diagnosed with terminal theme park obsession, and we're definitely going to spread it to you on the Park Peeps podcast.
We've got years of theme park knowledge, so join us as we serve piping hot takes, park tea, offer the best travel hacks and tips, and chat with guests in the theme park space.
So sit down, buckle in, and pull up on that yellow strap while we dispatch for the Park Peeps podcast.
Joey? Joey? Joey, Figment's on fire.
Demi, why would you scare me like that? I was in the middle of healing my inner child deep in a roller coaster tycoon vortex. Thank you very much.
Joey, we have a show to do, and you showing off how many peeps you can make puke on the pathway does not count.
Indeed, my co-host does have a point. Throw in another P word there for you. But just because Roller Coaster Tycoon is off the table, we can still talk about rides, can't we? Today's episode, yes, it is all about those things that instill fear, wonder, excitement, and most of all, pleasure. Roller coasters. Demi, as we know, I'm a lifelong coaster enthusiast, etc., etc. I wasn't supposed to read etc., etc. I just had that as a note in the script, but I read it. I did it to myself. But you know what? We're going to keep rolling because we're professionals. Yes, I mean, as I introduced myself on this pod as being a coaster nerd, I am fully I know I don't look like one, but I am absolutely a coaster nerd through and through, like card-carrying member of American Coaster Enthusiasts since I was 12. I was going to conventions with my uncle and my teacher who was in middle school. She was obsessed with roller coasters, and she got me further obsessed with roller coasters.
I'm going to have some questions on that.
Please ask away. Ask away. Another P word there that we're just throwing in. But Demi, I know this is a big thing for me growing up, but for you growing up, I know you said you didn't go to the parks as often as you do now, and but like, what was your first coaster experience? Were you a fan growing up?
So, you know, I'm a huge coaster person now.
Yes.
And I can't even believe that for the majority of my life, I was way too afraid to ride roller coasters. I was so chicken, so much so, like, I went to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Like, I love that place. I go like every few years, but I went once first with my mom and our friends, and like my mom was a coaster person, and like she went with like my friend, like a 12-year-old, because I wouldn't go, and I would hang back with her mom. And then a couple years later, I went back for my 8th grade field trip, and like, again, like, even though we had so much fun, like the majority of the things in that park were coasters, especially now. Oh my, don't even get me started. I would just hang back all the time. Until I want to say like literally like college. I think I was like 17, 18 is when I kind of just like started like fighting the fear of like the really big coasters. The first coaster like I remember was the Dragon Coaster over at Playland Park.
Oh, the Mariah Carey one.
The what?
Yeah, the wooden roller coaster.
That's
the Mariah.
Why is it Mariah Carey?
They filmed Mariah Carey's famous music video that was filmed entirely on that roller coaster.
Wait, I had no idea about this.
You need to. Okay,
what
you
song?
have homework to do. I think it's Fantasy.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes,
at Playland on the Dragon Coaster.
Yes, the entire music video is filmed that she is on the roller coaster, just like riding it.
Well, what a queen. First of all.
Yes. I love that I gagged you with that information. You had no clue.
For sure. But like, that's like their biggest coaster. And I remember it took me a long time to like even get up to that. And we would go to like Playland maybe once a year. But it's not like a really intense coaster. It doesn't go upside down. It has like one drop, like, and then little drops. So like that was kind of like my first, but like to me that was a big coaster when I was young. Like that was my first one that I really remember. And then, you know, I I was always around Six Flags, right? Because it was in New Jersey, and that was kind of like the closest park, like for
Great
like, big
coaster park.
rides. Great coaster park. But when you were a kid and not into coasters, like I didn't even go. Like I didn't bother going there.
Yeah.
And like I remember everyone would fight to get into physics class as senior in my high school.
Field trips.
Because they would go on the field trip. And I was like, I'm all set. I don't need to take this
good.
really
I'll stay
hard
in school.
class. I will take environmental science where the teacher literally doesn't do anything with us and tells people that evolution isn't real. Oh yeah, that's a whole other story. But yeah,
peppermint fingers.
Yeah. But then like one day I just like said, I'm just going to do it. Like, and I went like in college with my friend Sabby and I did them and I became a huge coaster fan. I got over my fear. Like R.I.P. King Dakar was my favorite coaster. I'm never going to forgive them. I feel like I've been saying that on every episode.
It's literally been every episode.
Every episode, yeah.
Every single one. But don't let them forget it. Don't let them forget it.
Don't let them forget it. But no, now like, give me all of them. But still, even to this day, like I love like a fun coaster where it's like there's like a lot of speed. I don't really like a lot of barrel rolls. I don't want to feel sick, and I don't like coasters that like shake too much and just like bobble your head in between. So I'm still like as much as like I don't have a fear of coasters anymore, I'm still very selective about my coasters.
Got you. No, see, this is like, it's so funny because I feel like people that don't know about coasters just call everything a loop-de-loop.
No.
And I'm just
I'm a little better than that.
I can't. It drives me up a wall. But no, I just was curious to know because one of my friends, I have explained all of the different names of inversions before.
Right.
And she was just like, this makes absolutely no sense to me. This is math.
I'm still a coaster fan and a theme park person, so I have like some knowledge, but like I don't have that like you're one of those people who like can tell you the manufacturer and like all the different types of like things. And I'm just like, I don't know. What's the theme? Give me the story, and is it fun? Like that's
where
I'm
too.
at.
I like
know
that
you're
too.
Too, but I don't know.
No, I'm agreeing with you. Like
details.
I love that too. I think that I actually like the dork knowledge stuff is just like it's secondary to everything else. What I enjoy about a coaster, like throw a great theme on there. I don't care who made it. I don't care what it does. A great story on a coaster like does something. It massages a part of my brain, and like that's why I think Velocicoaster is my favorite, because it combines every single thing that is just so like firing on all cylinders of everything that you could possibly do with a coaster. Like a great story, great theming, it just incredible elements that do things that I have never before felt on my body, like the Mosasaurus roll at the end. When you get airtime on essentially a Mosasaurus roll is an evolution of a barrel roll, but that usually, like when you're going upside down on a coaster, your body is pushed into the seat, but that Mosasaurus roll just like flings you the hell out of your seat, and it's just such a weird feeling, and I love it so much. That is just like a perfect ride. There's not a bad thing on that ride.
What is a Mosasaurus roll? And it sounds like made up for the attraction because it sounds like a dinosaur.
Yes, it is a dinosaur. A Mosasaurus is a dinosaur, but they did make up that name of that element for this roller coaster, but it is unlike pretty much any other inversion that's ever been done. It's not just a traditional barrel roll. The heart line is a little bit different, and the profiling of the track is a little bit, or not profiling, the word is escaping me, but it's like the way that the train maneuvers the inversion is slightly different than you would just on a normal barrel roll. So you do sort of get flung out of the seat as opposed to like a typical barrel roll that you take. Usually barrel rolls you take at like a slower speed. That one is you take it so fast, and just the way it's angled, you just flop right out of that seat. It's crazy.
Wow. And that was Coaster 101 with Joey Novi.
That was Coaster 101 with me. Don't get me started on Immelmans. Now...
What?
Yeah. It sounds like a dessert, doesn't it? No, we don't. But what better way to continue our coaster episode than to come in as hot as the Millennium Force Q in July with Hot Takes of the Week Roller Coaster Edition. So Demi, I would very much like you to start us off.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad I'm starting off because, like,
look at you giggling.
Because what everyone needs to understand is like we don't talk to each other about what we're going to say because we want it to be like because we are just having a conversation here. And so the fact that you just led into Velocicoaster and gave me even more information about the attraction, which again I'm going to say I love this attraction very, very much, but this is where Joey starts to hate me. Oh, yeah.
Don't say it.
Hagrid's motorbike is still a better coaster than Velocicoaster, and I don't care what you have to say, Joey. It's my hot take, and I don't care if you think it's technically wrong.
Piping.
I don't. You're wrong, and I'm gonna explain. Hot. Let me explain why. Okay. I'm gonna explain why you're wrong. For me, this is my opinion. Okay, if you want to like make a technical list of like, like what's better, which even though I think is a weird thing because like just because there's more of a thing doesn't mean
like
it's
you
better.
Weirdo.
Oh, did I call you a weirdo?
No, I'm joking. Oh. You were like it's like if you want to make a weird thing of like if you're like you unwell little thing.
Listen, I'm editing myself here right now because like in real life, you don't want to get into an argument with me because I become kind of a terrible person. Because I get like really heated because I get really passionate. I'm really
don't
passionate.
Mess with New York.
I'm really passionate, yeah. And so like I may throw in an insult by mistake. And
no, you didn't.
I don't mean to do it. So like I was like, did I accidentally say that? Because I don't mean it. It's just like in the heat of the moment. It's like real New York stuff.
No,
that just
you did
comes
not.
Out.
I promise you did not.
We're just really classy here.
Yes.
But here's why I like it more. And again, I still love Velocicoaster. To me, like, and I know Joey and I have had this conversation a long time ago off of a podcast, like just like in real life. And so I'm going to say this, all of it I can remember. The reason why I think it's better is because, and I know you're saying there's a great story in Velocicoaster. I just don't. It doesn't resonate with me. I don't feel that. And it's because the coaster is really fast. While you're on Hagrid's, like you're like most of the time they don't even play that pre-show, right? Like so like it's better when you have the pre-show. Obviously you get more information about like what's actually going on or whatever. But even without it, like you do like single rider line and you go straight onto the ride and you've never heard it, you've never seen any Harry Potter things, you can kind of still figure out what's going on. Because like my husband is not a big Harry Potter fan, and I don't think he definitely never saw the pre-show, and he went on and he hit that button and everything.
That button that don't do nothing.
Button that don't do, I laughed so hard.
Watching somebody that gets so excited do it.
Yes, but like this is why I think Hagrid's is better. It's because it's not just like a coaster. It's a whole experience and a coaster. So like for me, and I know I said like I didn't grow up with coasters, but like the majority of the things I did before going to like the Disney and Universal parks was a lot of Six Flags. I packed it in. Like I made up all of the years in a very short amount of time. So for me, like who was at the parks that were doing these extreme coasters that I still love, it's such a difference to get on one that isn't making me sick, is very smooth, has like two different car seats to it. There's a lot of story going on. Like you hear Hagrid the entire time. You're doing magic. Spoiler alert: if you don't want to know about Hagrid's at this point, it's years. There's the drop. Oh my gosh! The first time I got to do that, and I had no spoilers, and the drop happened. It was it for me. And it's just like launch. And that's what I love because it's just like fun. And there's just so much happening. And God, it's so good. My only wish, honestly, about Hagrid's, and I know it doesn't make sense, but like I wish they were both motorcycles because I love riding that motorcycle, and I never get to ride it because the line is always so long. I
know, and they never let you pick.
And if you do single rider, it's like you're just there to be the sidecar, and it's like it's fine, but like it feels like you're riding a motorcycle, man, and it's so good. And I feel like if I really never get a chance to ride it on my own because I'm busy and I'm filming and whatever, so like if my husband comes down or if like I have a friend with me, like of course I'm gonna give them the motorcycle. Like I'm not stupid. Like I'm gonna give them the motorcycle. They're not really here. Like I'm here even though I don't get to ride it. I have the opportunity to.
Good luck, whoever's with me. I'm taking that motorcycle seat. I'm taking it.
I know. There was one time I did single rider and like the gentleman like didn't want the motorcycle and I was like, oh my gosh, It was the best day of my life. So that really is what kind of sets it apart for me. Like as much as I love Velocicoaster as a coaster, like I know like for me too, like I can go on Hagrid's and feel fine getting off. Velocicoaster is very intense. And like when I get like there have been times like I see Velocicoaster has like a short wait. Like even when my husband was there too, like he's only done it I think one time. It's just like, I don't know, like we're just old now. I don't know. We're in our 30s. Like, well, I'm 30. I mean, he's deep in his 30s, but
deep in his 30s.
He's deep in his 30s. And, you know, we just like, even so we saw the short line, we're just like, we're not going to feel great afterwards. And
well, no, you're not in, like, there's no part of me that would ever tell you that you are incorrect for that. Like you are. Look, I think Hagrid's is amazing too. And fun fact, they're both Intamin is the same manufacturer of both.
See, that's what I meant before of like,
Hagrid's.
You know all of the people that make the stuff.
Yeah, so like they are cut from the same cloth in many ways, but I feel like Hagrid's is like a less intense version of Velocicoaster in a few ways, but like the theming, you cannot argue. Like, I mean, Hagrid's has the better theming, 100 million %. And I think that Hagrid's is so fun, but there's something about me, like I need the pure difference for me. Hagrid's is one of my favorite roller coasters of all time as well, but it's also, I believe, the most expensive roller coaster ever built. But I need a roller coaster to throttle me within an inch of my life in a good way, which brings me to my hot take.
Okay.
And this gets into a topic we're going to talk about later with our guest, but also at Universal Islands of Adventure, Hulk, for me,
oh my God,
is a total skip.
Me too.
And look, that is a ride that throttles me in a bad way. Yes. Like that, because, you know, I grew up as this coaster nerd. Like the Incredible Hulk is one of the most iconic roller coasters that has ever been built in the history of the world. Like when you were a kid thinking about Islands of Adventure, you saw the Hulk and that's what you saw. You saw the logo and the Hulk, and like that's
why.
Just because it was so heavily featured in marketing, and like as a kid, you're looking at that and you're just like this. And for at the time, the Upwards launch was such a interesting thing. I mean, I think at the time the only other coaster that at a prominent park that had done something like that was Space Mountain in Disneyland Paris. So the ride was just so new and interesting, and it's from a really great manufacturer, Bolliger and Mabillard, who was great back in the day. Segueing into our topic later, I don't want to get too ahead of myself on that, but the ride is just, it's like the first few times I rode it, I grayed out. I do not like graying out on roller coasters. Millennium Force, which I also mentioned in the...
Wait, what do you mean you grayed out? Like you passed out?
So gray out is not passing out. Gray out is when the forces are so significant on your body that you literally start to, like, there's not enough blood flow going on in your head, so you start to gray out.
I never even knew about that.
Yeah, your vision can start to... Some people have brownouts, but like the color you start to see is gray.
Joey, wait.
What?
I always thought brownouts was when you have an accident on the coaster. It's not that.
But now it can be. Now it can be.
Wait, I swear on my life, I really thought that's what that was.
Nope. Now it can be. I'm not going to tell you you're incorrect, because that can also be a thing. Cosmic Rewind, case in point. But
well, that was only the cue.
That was only the cue. But yeah, I don't know. My hot take is that Hulk is, every time I ride it, I keep feeling like I want it to be better than it actually is. And I just come off of it feeling like I just got pummeled and like I have a headache and the forces are just too intense. And like, if the elements on the ride are fun enough that it justifies like experiencing those intense forces, I can get behind that. Like Alpengeist at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. That's a great example.
Love that one.
The forces on that ride are also very intense, but like the elements that you go through, I think are fun enough that it justifies going through that, and I will endure that. But Hulk, I'm just kind of like, this coaster is just all it's doing is putting forces on my body that are not very enjoyable to feel. And the elements this ride is going through are not fun enough. So I skip it. I've been skipping it every time that I've been going recently, which is, it surprises me every time. But my brother did teach me a good trick that I'll end on. My brother is training to be a pilot, and he taught me that when you start to feel yourself graying out on a coaster, you have to like push all the blood to your head, like go like, and like, you know, like when we were little and we all used to get upset and angry and be like, and like push all the blood to your head.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're supposed to do. And every time I feel myself graying out now, I do it and it takes it away immediately. So
Wow.
tip
I mean,
for all of you.
wow. I'm kind of down with it as well.
Well, all right. Now that we've experienced that whirlwind of a ride, strap in, lower that safety bar, and put your hands up, because our next Park Peep interview will have you screaming with delight when we return with Jeremy, aka Jerendelle, right after this. Demi, do you smell that heavenly aroma?
It smells like fresh biscuits baking in the oven.
Well, yes, it's the scent of excellence our next guest is always serving, because he's always cooking when it comes to quality recipes for infectious theme park content on his Jerendelle socials. But I am here to tell you that he is also a glorious coaster nerd too.
Like the peaks and valleys on your favorite thrill ride, our next Park Peep travels up and down the country to highlight the nation's best coasters, film his favorite rope drop videos at the Disney parks, and more. And he does that all with that signature smile that never leaves his happy face.
I am so happy to welcome one of my favorite Park Peeps, my friend Jeremy, aka Jerendelle on social. Jeremy, welcome.
Jeremy!
Hi, y'all.
I love that. Moments prior to this, Jeremy was like, I'm going to use my inside voice. And the first thing he does in the pod is scream.
Well, it lasted not at all.
I would expect nothing less from you, and I would not have asked you here if that is not exactly what I wanted, because I know that's what you're serving.
Lunch to me, yep, just healthy doses of screaming and over enthusiasm and just really just living for the thrill, you know.
Yes.
And apparently making biscuits always.
Well, yeah, I mean, you do have, that is what you call your fans, your biscuits. You are officially popular enough to have a fan name. So you are in the line with Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj. You have the Barbs, the biscuits. I mean, I think the biscuits would win in a fight.
They would be so offended right now, I'm just saying.
That is true. That's territory that I don't want to wade into, actually, the Stan Wars. We're not getting into that. Well, Jeremy, you've never called me a biscuit.
Well, Joey, I would change that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Now that I know, I will call you Biscuit all the time. Biscuit, I'm sorry.
Oh, there we go. I'm officially a biscuit. Well, you are a dear friend of mine, and I would do anything at a park with you, except perhaps the thing that I think so many people know you for, which is rope dropping. I have recently declined to do this with you at Disneyland in January. But I live rope dropping vicariously through you, so I don't have to wake up, because I just see you in full Disney regalia, panicking as the crowd storm by you in your videos. It is so funny. It is also my nightmare.
Same.
I do have to know, though, why is rope dropping so important to you, and what is like the wildest thing you've ever seen at rope drop in terms of guest behavior?
Well, first of all, your time will come. And we're going to do like an Animal Kingdom rope drop. So not only is it like rope drop, it's like early rope drop, flight of passage, most stressful, peak rope drop. Like we're just going all in.
Keep dreaming.
Prepare. It starts now. The training. Let's get ready.
I might ghost you the day of, Jeremy. Just be prepared. I might ghost you.
Demi, you're in. Yeah.
Oh God.
He's moving on to Demi.
I just hate waking up. I always feel bad because people always want me to do like rope drop strategy videos, and I'm just like, I'm not out of the house until like earliest 9:30. Only on festival days is when I'm like ready to be at the park at 9, and that's early for me.
I will rope drop food and coffee any day of the week. Very happily. Very happily.
Yeah.
My rope drop strategy is this: sleeping.
Sleeping.
Sleep. That's my rope drop. I'll fall asleep on the Figment bus, and like I'll do a couple more loops, and then I'll meet you in the park later. How about that?
I want to be a rope dropper, but I can't fall asleep until like 1, sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning. Last night, 4 o'clock in the morning. So there you go.
Who has time for it? Who has time for it?
I think I am born to be a rope dropper in that, just between the competitiveness. Look, I'm almost 6'3", okay? I'm 76% leg, 14% torso, and about 30% forehead. I don't know if that math works, but it's somewhere in there. I don't know where.
Park Peeps Math Edition.
I'll get my whiteboard out next time.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, like, it has gotten pretty chaotic in certain rope drops, just because if you're rope dropping a really popular family attraction like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom, it's all families. It's all families. It's strollers. It's buggies. Now it's wagons. Like, it is so much that's happening. And just the energy, again, it's palpable, but then also the stress of it all hits people in different ways. So it gets a little rambunctious at times. I'm really, kind of shocked to say. So, and I think that it kind of sounds like Disney might be kind of trying to play around with like the rope drops and whatnot and trying to change things up a little bit, but we'll have to see. But it's gotten pretty buku bonkers, not to say no. I will say that.
While you are known for your Disney and theme park content, you and I, like you mentioned, we do share this bond over growing up as full-time coaster nerds, and this episode is all about roller coasters. And I think you are the only person in my life who actually has sent me audio of, I think it was it Viper climbing the lift hill at Six Flags?
I sent you that video when I took it when I was at Magic Mountain. The original one I sent you was of one of my favorite rides of all time, Shockwave at Six Flags Great America. And it was like the endless loop of the arrow chain lift.
Yes. And that just melted me. And I was like, oh, it's somebody who gets it. So I wonder what, started this coaster obsession with you. You touched on it a little bit in your last answer, but like what started this coaster obsession with you, and what differences do you notice in like the theme park community, like Disney, Universal, whatever, versus like the broy coaster community online?
It's like such a good question. But the roller coaster that did it for me was the Demon, also at Six Flags Great America, my home. And it was one of those rides where I still was not bought into going on rides, and it was one of those things where I did not want to be the one that chickened out while everyone else went. So despite everything, I forced myself to go on the ride, and I was panicked. I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was so scared. I was so panicked. I was trying to put such a brave face, and I was literally the definition of white knuckling, and it was drop, loop, loop, tunnel, and it was a combination of realizing you're still alive. You're fine. And then second of all, hearing the excitement all around me that was encompassing the train, and just getting to then open my eyes, and I'm flying through this tunnel and lights are flying past me, and you're going into this cave, and then you're flipping upside down and you're watching the world rotating. From that moment on, I think I was attached to, I think like a lot of people, just like the rush of that and the adrenaline of that, but then also the happiness and the excitement that I felt in a way that nothing had really made me that excited or that happy. And so that was like the first thing that really did it. And then from then, it was game over. I was getting roller coaster VHSs, America's Roller Coaster Thrills.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. I was watching that. And then Roller Coaster Tycoon came out, and I would quite literally play it all night. My dad would wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm still on the computer playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. It did not. Well,
feels like my own childhood. Oh my God.
And that was just the rabbit hole. Every time I did a science project, roller coaster, Six Flags even sent me this incredible packet of pictures of the roller coasters, the stats, all this information. It was unbelievable for my middle school science.
Oh my God.
And it was just my life became about it. And my main background is I'm a tennis player. That's where the athletic, that's where the competitiveness comes from. And I have been traveling for many, many years, the country and the world playing tennis. And so much of my tennis travels became, all right, let's go to this tournament because it's near this.
Love that.
Bless my parents, they entertain, like there's only so much you could do, but they would honestly entertain it. And it was one of those things where it's kind of like, if I knew there was a roller coaster down the road, you better believe I competed for my life. And most of the time I won. It was very
Yep.
So that's kind of how it got started. And then the roller coaster community is cutthroat.
Wild.
It's wild in a way that I'm not mad at it. In short, people have their opinions and they are sticking to it. Period. They're not changing their mind. They're not budging. This sucks. This doesn't. You're wrong. I'm right. Period. Game over. It's wild. And I'm kind of here. Like, that's the reality I kind of want in my life.
I had that like experience recently, like when I first
10
started
minutes ago.
No. When I first started like my channel and I like posted into like it was a ride something with rides but I posted it in like a specifically coaster like group on I think Reddit or something, and they all dragged me because like they just all had their opinion and they were telling me I'm wrong, and it was the most intense like wake up call I've ever seen in my life.
And it's so bro-y. It's like, it's very, very bro-y and like toxic man-y kind of. And it just, there's like
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have either of you been to like a meetup, whether it's kind of like I did like theme park review, for example. I've done like a couple of them. Theme park review. Rob and Alyssa Albee. Look, I always have to give flowers where flowers are due. Rob and Alyssa Albee, in my opinion, are the
OGs
that all of us have an opportunity and ability to do this. They are the reason, and I don't think that enough. They are the first roller coaster enthusiasts that I ever came across when I was like in middle school.
Me too.
Travel around the world, making music videos, showing people this incredible world of roller coasters. I have them to thank not only for that gift, but for being able to be here and do this. So I have to say that.
No, Jeremy, our childhoods were just so similar. Like, everything that you said is exactly the same thing that I would do. And like Rob and Alyssa were the first two people that I remember watching as a kid too, outside of America's Greatest Roller Coaster Thrills 3D. That obviously, like, that icon, what was her name? Lisa? Was it Lisa and Ron?
I wish I could remember.
I think it's Lisa and Ron was the name of the host there, but like, they were the OGs for me, but like, they were paid actors, obviously. So like, Rob and Alyssa, we'll give it to them. But yeah, I don't think I've ever asked you this. What is your top 10 coasters? Like, can you just give me a 1 through 10 ranking?
Yeah, I would probably say my top 3 kind of. I haven't been on Velocicoaster yet, so I can't.
I know.
I've been putting that off for a long time.
I know. I've been yelling at him for weeks.
Been putting it off for a long time. I would say off the top of my head, my top 3 fluctuate between Iron Gwazi, El Toro, and X2. Twisted Colossus is in the mix. The OG Top Thrill Dragster, without question, one of the most unbelievable rides of all time. I went on Accelerator yesterday. Like, for rides that start, like, I have a deep connection with rides that start something, and Accelerator is the reason why the rest were born, right? So it's like just my appreciation for that, and the fact that it's still here as a hydraulic launch. Praise. Yeah. What else? You know what? Shockingly enough, I'm going to put Disneyland Paris's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad up there.
Yes.
I've heard such good things.
It's the best one.
It is. I knew nothing about it. When I go to new parks, I don't look at anything. Like, I've seen a lot of roller coaster videos in my life. But that is not, I had no idea. And I rode it for the first time at night in the back row in the rain, and it blew my mind.
Is it okay? So I have heard that, obviously I know that it goes under the water to get to its own little island, but then on the return trip, I have heard that there is like a massive underground drop. Is that true?
It's while it is massive and it feels like it goes on for a long time, it's very gradual.
Okay.
But you feel like you're picking up speed the entire time, and it's pitch black. So it's like the senses around that are really incredible.
So I want to go.
You can't.
Let's go.
I want to. I literally. I'm not even kidding. I've been tracking Paris flights just to see what, like, if there's like a cheap, like, few days to go, because I love that park, and I'm in the minority of it. But I really want to go back when they redo Walt Disney Studios and it's all like done. But even though I hate the new name Disney Adventure Park, but
Big Thunder's closed right now too.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, it's closed for a few months.
Well, I guess we have to plan a Paris trip.
No, seriously, let's go later this year. I really want to go, and I can never find any friends that want to go with me.
I literally will go everywhere.
Let's go. Okay, so we're going to Okay, Jeremy, Demi and I made plans on last week's episode to go to have you ever heard of a park called Diggerland?
Oh my god!
I thought you were I've never heard of this before.
Oh my god! I was doing that because I haven't heard of it. It's where you can sit in like the construction vehicle and it like hurls you in a circle, right?
Yes. Okay, so we're going there, and then immediately we will be the first people in history to go from Diggerland to Disneyland Paris.
Done. Period.
Done.
I want to ride in a, what are they called?
A backhoe?
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Very that too.
A shovel.
And thank you. Oh, my, that's going to be for real. Could you imagine? Standing on the shovel and just face planting? What a ride.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Well, as much as I would love to talk about Disneyland Paris all day and all the craziness of those parks in Europe, I do want to bring it back to some of the parks here. Specifically, we've seen a lot of weird developments over the last few months in the coaster space, including Six Flags destroying my beloved Kingda Ka after the merger with Cedar Fair. And that really angered many people. I am probably the number one angry person that I didn't get to ride my favorite ride one last time. So what did you think about the park not announcing that closure? And what do you think the future holds for Six Flags and Cedar Fair parks?
I see it both. I'm going to preface this with purely someone with an opinion that knows nothing about nothing, especially when it comes to running an amusement park. Okay.
You played Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, we all know. We played Coaster Tycoon. Come on.
Valid.
Maxed out those loans.
You bet. They're still not coming for me. So as far as I'm concerned, winning. Thank you.
Banks aren't coming.
Goodness. I see it two ways. I want to see it in the way that no Six Flags did not owe it to people to announce it and to make something of it. I would like to see it that way. However, I also feel like, again, as someone that knows nothing, it was a missed opportunity to have a send-off for not only an iconic ride that once again came into our lives during, let's call it peak coaster wars, that's still very much happening, and revolutionized and did far and beyond what anybody thought would ever be possible for roller coasters. But also as a marketing opportunity to be like, what, we might be doing this, but look what we got coming for you. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're reimagining.
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily would have softened the blow, and maybe that would not have meant something to anybody, because again, we're losing such a polarizing ride, but either way, a ride that revolutionized so many things.
Yeah.
I, as a fellow lover of the ride, am disappointed. I would have loved to have had something more official to get to celebrate something so incredible. But I also understand the many reasons why I think maybe they didn't and just decided to be like, you know what, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staffing is probably the biggest issue. For sure.
I would say, staffing seems like a lot of parks are having staffing issues, but I also think once Cedar Fair comes on board, it's like they just went through this whole thing with Top Thrill Dragster, and especially, Zamperla did Top Thrill too, but they went through a lot of issues with Top Thrill when, especially right after it opened, and Kingda Ka also had its fair share of issues over the years. So it was probably, I think what we're seeing is this company, like a very cost-effective company. They've always been a very cost-effective company at Cedar Fair, and identifying rides that are probably way more expensive to maintain than they are bringing in. And I think that's probably obviously, I mean, it's, goes without explaining that that's probably the main reason. And I wonder what you think of something we were also just talking about yesterday, you and I. You hadn't realized it when I had mentioned it to you, but we're seeing another, I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a merger. I think it's just like an acquisition, but Herschend has actually just acquired the Palace parks from Parque Reunidos. So that includes my home park of Kennywood, Adventureland in Iowa, Lake Compounce, and Dutch Wonderland. So also Storyland, I think is the other one, and Idlewild too, another one of my home parks. So I am thinking initially, I think that means the end of Steel Curtain. I think Steel Curtain's out. I think she's gone. So I wanted to get your take on that, what you think, because we have seen after these acquisitions happen, things start getting cut. So what do you think is going to happen with these new parks under Herschend?
I think, I think people just want, back to the previous point, like you said, I think people just want the transparency. Like, I don't know what that looks like. And as you both know, Steel Curtain has been riddled with all the issues. And then some. I mean, its operation has been, it feels like almost non-existent. Like it's one of those, like, it's like getting on lightning rod when it was lightning rod before it was now. Like it's very that.
Yeah.
So again, I want to believe on the business side, I understand making the decisions that are done. And if it makes sense for the growth of the company, for the betterment of the company, for future investments, and for just future development, and that's, kept in mind, and you compare that with transparency to people that have been local, have been, guests of your park and have a history with your park. I mean, like, it's all part of it. Like, not to, bring it back to Walt, but like change is necessary, and like change is progress, and change is moving forward. And it may not always be the change we want, but it might need to happen nonetheless.
But I think short-sighted change is something that we saw happening, especially with Kennywood. And I have been wanting to do an episode about this for a while, about bad things that are happening to parks that Demi and I love. And Kennywood has been something that I've been really passionate about for obviously my entire life. It's my home park, and it has such a special place in Pittsburgh's history. In amusement park history in general. And I think what they've been doing to that park for the past 15 years has just been so disheartening to see. They're trying to turn it into a corporate park when the soul of that park is like still fighting through and like, hey, I'm not a corporate park, but you're trying to put me in corporate park drag. And it
corporate park drag.
That's really what it is.
New
and it's like, you can see, especially the biggest example of that is all you have to do, and it's really funny. My friends, Cassie and Emma, I sent them a video. I was like, y'all, please look at this and just tell me how funny. This is my local park. Like, does this image look funny to you? And I started on the racer. It was a video. And I just slowly zoomed out to where Steel Curtain, this 200-foot tall, like, looks like a 9-year-old's first roller coaster design on Roller Coaster Tycoon, standing next to this like picturesque 100-year-old roller coaster reflected on the lake. Like, I'm like, this is all you need right here to see what is wrong with this park. And I think that Herschend has you go to Dollywood, I mean, I've never been to Silver Dollar City, but things that I hear, those parks have souls. Like Dollywood has a soul, and Kennywood has a soul that has been lost. And I think that this new ownership is going to get to the core of what that soul is and get back to it. And I think that whole Steelers country is coming out. I think that it's because they didn't spend the money on the $25 million. Like, so it's easier for them to just snip.
Well, I was going to ask you both, what do you think, especially a park like Kennywood that has so much historic nostalgia to so many people? What do you think drives, I mean, aside from the obvious of like, okay, we need to try to bring in a different demographic of people that, want to come and they want more than the Jackrabbit and the Racer and Thunderbolt and whatnot. Why the decision? Do you feel like these corporations and these companies, do you feel like, okay, we're losing something, so this is the result of that? And then what do you think drives a decision like that?
I think with Kennywood, it's not necessarily what I think is driving a decision like that. I think it's what they're not seeing about their own product that is driving decisions. Like I I think that when they took over, when Palace and Parque Renidos took over, they didn't know what their product was, and I think that was very clear. So I think a park like Kennywood, you don't need to market to people that are going to Cedar Point. That's not Kennywood's. Kennywood's audience is, I mean, yes, you do get people come. It's obviously in the summer one of Pittsburgh's biggest tourist destinations in the summer, of course. But Pittsburgh is not a tourist city, and people aren't coming to Pittsburgh outside of coaster enthusiasts. They're not coming for Kennywood. You don't need to build a 225-foot tall roller coaster to compete with Cedar Point. Kennywood's never going to compete with Cedar Point. Kennywood's market is local Pittsburghers who know what a treasure this is, and that is why it has endured for 120 years, is because of the love that this place has for it. And just to see it's weird, like, talking about it makes me emotional, because I'm just like, this, it's such a point of pride for this city, and to just see what was done to it, it's just kind of like a lack of care about those decisions, when the bottom line is the goal and spending money to bring money in instead of preserving a really special thing that you have. I don't think that, I think the only thing that they were thinking about in decisions that they were making for this park is money instead of soul, which can also make money. Look at Dollywood, look at Silver Dollar City. Like, it
different. I mean, I wish I could speak. I mean, I really hope to be able to change that this year. One high bucket list park, because I want to see what that is.
Yeah,
I really want to see what that is.
Me too. I mean, that's another trip we can all do.
Kennywood.
Yes. Also, not to keep it on Kennywood, but like, for example, Pitfall. Whatever happened with that?
So that was also something that really made me upset, because they replaced it with, I mean, she just, I think, was too expensive. It was very rare that all sides of that would be operating by the end of its life cycle, which I don't understand, because like Intamin Freefall Towers, like other parks were operating like, that made me so upset, because that was such an iconic part of the Kennywood skyline, and they haven't had anything quite the same since. But I think she just got too expensive, and like I said, the last few years, I think they were only operating maybe two sides. I think it had four total, but every time I remember going there, it was down to one. So when they replaced it with that giant Black Widow gyro swing, I'm just like, Kennywood now has like 6 rides that do the exact same thing, just in different ways. Like, they have a disco, not the disco coaster. They have just a regular disco, which is a disc that spins and goes in a swinging motion. They have Black Widow, which is a disc that spins and goes in a swinging motion. It's like, what? This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense.
Together.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, I just went on a rant.
You did.
See, but that's we need this stuff.
Preach.
Like,
you got to preach it.
We do. We need it.
You rant because you care.
That's right. That's right.
Well, the closing of Kingda Ka signaled the end of an era and the deconstruction of one of the icons of the coaster wars that began with Magnum XL 200 in 1989 and ran through the aughts. We reached the end of the coaster wars, or has it shifted? I know you kind of touched on it, but are we into like a new battle? Like, what's your take on it?
That's such a good question. You know, I feel like the roller coaster industry has gone in so many different directions. I look at these companies that are having like massive glow up. So you take like the Coma, for example. Like, they used to be a company that, yeah, they were super recycled. The Coma boomerangs, everybody knows one or has been on one or what have you. And you take this company that had kind of like a lackluster appreciation, and now they're one of the most in demand, creating some unbelievable roller coasters.
Yep.
Tilts or launches or you know, whatever it is. And then you have, I have to get to Dubai. I have to get to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Because you have like a coaster like Mission Ferrari that I know nothing about, but the people that I know that have ridden it, they say it's unlike anything out there. So you have roller coasters that are created like, I'm going to put a roller coaster like Hagrid's into the mix, because Hagrid's is one of my
Demi.
my top 10, because Hagrid's is the perfect roller coaster. It has
Well,
Sorry,
just to
Jeremy.
give, we don't mean to be laughing because we did our hot takes in the beginning of the episode, and my hot take is that Hagrid's is the superior coaster.
To Velocicoaster, and I was like, Demi.
Demi, honestly, here's the thing. I think once I do ride Velocicoaster, I'm going to agree with you.
No, you're not. You're not, Jeremy. I know you. No, you're not. You are not.
You
You
know,
absolutely are not.
the thing about Hagrid accomplishes what is so hard to do. And I think, theming a roller coaster, I think that any IP really is really hard to do, especially when there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of transitions, it's fast. And Hagrid's does it all phenomenally from the queue. I don't even really mind waiting in the queue that much. From the second you get on the ride,
Absolutely.
the things you incorporate. It is a roller coaster. It is theater. It is art. It is storytelling. It's everything.
I feel so
Music to
validated.
Demi's ears.
Hands
Yes.
across the board. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
got you, girl. I got you.
Thank
Like, I knew how special the roller coaster was when I went on it for the first time, like a couple months after it opened. What was that, 2019? With
He was
my
19, yeah.
And my brother is like, he likes roller coasters, but he's like, meh, whatever. I'm not going to go out of my way. I got him to wait in line for 3 hours. And when I got to, I'm going to get so emotional about this. When I got to look over and I got to see just how happy he was,
Oh,
and I got to see that he was having like this palpable joy, and was really just, he's been such a fan of Harry Potter for so long, and getting him to go to amusement parks it is not the easiest thing to do, but even he was having so much fun to the point where he even would go on, he went on again, and we went on it 4 times in 2 days. I don't know how we managed that.
my God.
That was just something that, I knew that was something so special. Because if you can make a lover of my brother out of it like that, it is one of those moments that I will never forget. It was really special. So, that's, I want to believe that the direction is, I would like to see that. But then again, you have, Six Flags Qiddiya, which is throwing the rule book all the way out the window.
Oh, Miss Falcon.
Oh, it's a good Falcon's Fury.
We're going to get to her.
We'll get there. But then you have that. So quite honestly, I'm ping ponging so much between, we're going more thrilling family style. We're staying low to the ground. Oh, we're throwing in, 11 inversions. Oh, we're cracking 600 feet and 150 some odd miles an hour. Slay. Okay, great. 600. Great. There are so many things happening that I don't know. That was such a long answer. I don't know.
Well,
needed.
We have officially, Demi, I think this is our second Park Peeps podcast Oprah edition. Because I'm crying, Jeremy is crying. What is
up.
this? Is wow. But
See,
thank you for sharing that, Jeremy.
So people don't realize, even things like a coaster could bring people together and make emotional things go and happen. And it's just, this is why we love what we love what we love. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it's this. I look at the same thing as. There was a lot of people that were getting emotional over King Khan. It's it's
yeah, and people got really nasty about it. There was that one girl who was crying on the news, and everyone was making fun of her. The newscaster was laughing, and it was kind of funny because, but it wasn't either because they love it, and I feel the same way. When you have something that you really love that much, and it's just gone, and maybe she didn't get to ride it one last time. It's
exactly
it stinks. That's why this is what, our 5th episode? I have brought up King Khan, I think, in every
single episode.
I'm genuinely so upset that I will never. It was my favorite coaster. There was no thrill I ever got like I got at King Khan, and I'm just devastated because I didn't get one more chance on it.
But there is the same way, because obviously, professionally, I deal a lot with pop culture and entertainment and movies, TV. Those art forms you form an emotional attachment to in your mind.
Yeah.
What you're watching something physical, but like, and it's really all in your mind because it's a vision of like you're seeing something that is there on a screen, but it's not there. You form an emotional attachment to it in your brain. Roller coasters and theme parks, I don't understand why people have this shock and mockery of people who cry when they go to Disney or when they're emotional over something like King Dakar leaving, because these are tangible experiences that you can touch and you can feel, and you are going 120 miles per hour down that track and you are going 56 feet in the air. Like it's a real emotional experience attached to a physical thing that you are doing. So like in a way, it's like in my brain more understandable why somebody would have an emotional reaction to something or an attachment to that versus something you're just watching on a screen. And like the two things that I love so much, but I just don't understand the hatred for that kind of thing.
Exactly.
It's very disheartening for me to see, but yeah.
It hits, like you said, it hits people in different ways. And like, reasons alone, you never know just the impact that anything can have on anyone. So why pass judgment? But,
and like, the same thing of like when you sent me the videos of it sounds like something so small, but like you send me the sound of an aerodynamics lift hill and I am immediately 7 years old again at Kennywood watching the Steel Phantom go up the hill, and like it's a whole sensory emotional thing, and I think it's there's deep emotions tied to a lot of this. And speaking of deep emotions, we have saved, I guess, the focal topic of this episode for like last. But rides in danger, or rather rides that I think should be in danger, girl, like King Dakar. This episode is called "Does Your Favorite Coaster Designer Actually Suck?" And I figured you would be the best person to debate this with, because sometimes I think coaster fanboys are more toxically obsessed with certain elements than theme park fans. And one of those things that has always perplexed me is the enduring love for Swiss designer Bolliger and Mabillard. And I came to this realization, look at the pain on Jeremy's face. I came to this realization last year when they shared the video of Rapterra at King's Dominion, and they had like the shot of the ride traveling down the launch, and you could see the bounce and the shake. And even the videos they released today of people riding it for the first time, I'm like, it's shaking everywhere. What is wrong with y'all? But like, I had it like That's So Raven style flashback on like Hulk recently too. When I was riding it, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, given their recent rocky track record and their subpar recent offerings, the increase in the shake and the rattle of their rides, like, it begs the question, is B&M really deserving of this status of iconic legacy?
Oh.
They were.
Ooh.
They were.
And I say that because I was lucky enough to get to be there, like not the day of, but really recently after they opened Batman the Ride for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And to get to ride, first of all, you look at Batman the Ride and you're kind of like, oh, it's not that tall. Like, yeah, it goes upside down. It's really loud, but like, how good could it be? Whatever. And quite honestly, to this day, riding front row on Batman the Ride at Six Flags Great America is still one of my favorite roller coaster experiences of all time.
It's so good.
It is so good. And then I was lucky enough to get to be there on Media Day when they decided to take the train, flip it around, and send it. And when I tell you that few rides have made me feel like Batman backwards in the front row, like in the back row, that's the front row now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Few rides have ever made me feel like that. And it was an experience that blew my mind. And it, like, riding Batman for the first time was like one of the days I realized, like, oh, so that's the magic of a compact layout. It doesn't have to be 200 feet tall. It doesn't have to be super fast. When you take a ride with a bunch of compact elements that it's whizzing through one after the other, oh, that could be an intense experience too.
Yep.
And then I think of like two other, I could like Montu, Kumba, Even Raging Bull at Six Flags Great America is running better than it's ever run in its entire life these last couple of years.
That makes me so
don't
happy.
Get it? It's unbelievable. I think back to all of these OG B&M style rides that in a lot of ways have become super glorified and have all of this, prestige behind. And then I look at a lot of these newer versions that I've ridden, and like there are rides like Mako, for example. I love Mako.
Great.
Love Mako.
Because
Love it.
right, because I feel like Mako has the essence of what B&M was. And I feel that got encapsulated with Mako, where it goes away from like having camelbacks and elements that are long and drawn out, and it has more of a steepness and a depth to it. So you get to feel that airtime going over. You get to feel the forces a little bit more greater.
Yep.
That's where I think B&M has lost some touch. Now, look, I cannot speak to Orion. I have not been on Orion yet.
Same.
I cannot speak to Leviathan.
Leviathan's good. Leviathan's great.
I hear great things.
I hear great things about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Great things. I don't know one person that has a negative opinion and thought on Fury 325. I think that's a pretty universal, like, we're obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you go in, sis.
Yeah, I was Demi. Demi's making a face.
I mixed it up with another one when
Jeremy clocked it.
It sounded like I mixed it up because forget me. Don't listen to me. I mixed it up with another coaster that sounds just like that with numbers.
Yeah. Oh, like Intimidator. Like there's
Intimidator.
Intimidator.
Boring. No.
That I did not enjoy Intimidator.
No.
It was so intense for me. I felt awful on it.
Excuse me, you mean Pantherian?
Oh, sorry, Pantherian. Oh. I forgot. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, I think at one point B&M was that girl. And I think I want to believe that they are trying to get back to being that girl. But the question becomes, is it too late? And is that somebody else come in and have taken that spot and made you less relevant? Like even like
Mock.
Correct. Mock. Vacoma. I mean, look, I think once Top Thrill 2 gets up and going, because the people that I know that have ridden it were very positive about it, and Zamperla as a whole and what they did. I really want to believe that Zamperla can have they can save face a little bit once it does come up and things are hopefully okay. But like you look at even like, why am I blanking on the name of like the new junior invert at Busch Gardens? Not Firebird.
Oh, Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix Rising. Like, where did that go wrong? Like, boy. Like, it's a brand new gen, invert. Like, why is it rattling? Why is it like, why?
And the one they just put in at SeaWorld Orlando too, the junior coaster.
Why?
Penguin Trek.
Penguin Trek.
And which is okay, I may be wrong, but I rode also in Williamsburg, Busch Gardens, because the same owners. They changed. Used to love the Dark Castle to Dark Coaster, and it's the same style attraction. But I didn't have that shaking issue.
It's different. It's a different manufacturer.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It felt very similar.
Honestly, like, look, I love family roller coasters. I really do. I love getting to see these parks that are really actively trying to bridge the gap and combine thrill and family elements. And I absolutely think Penguin Trek accomplishes that. I really, really do. Yeah.
Listen, I think that I echo a lot of the same things that you just said. I feel like we're the same person sometimes, but I just think that B&M is just it's just every coaster enthusiast, that millennial coaster enthusiast, was raised on this notion of like, amazing, like they're doing so many things that haven't been done before, like they're revolutionizing the industry. But I'm like, when was the last time they really did that? Because I mean, like I said, Mako, I think I texted you when I first wrote it. I was like, I am ready to finally be into a B&M hyper. Like, I have not really liked a B&M. Behemoth is surprising to me because that is the more sort of long drawn out kind of situation. And I do enjoy Behemoth, but Mako is the first one that I had ridden since Behemoth 10 years prior. That I was like, I love this because Apollo's Chariot. I'm sorry. No, get out of here.
Oh,
Get out of
I
here.
like it.
Get out of here.
It used to be better, but
She's boring. She is boring.
I get a good thrill on it. I don't know. Till this day, like I only wrote it I wrote it like only like 2 years ago for like the fourth time in my life, and I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, there is not a time, like some of these coaster influencers, I do watch their videos and I'm like, you seem like you're actively not enjoying something. And unless something is like jackhammering the hell out of my head, like one time, oh my God, a seat on, do you remember Geauga Lake? One time I was riding the Big Dipper there. The seat that I was sitting on must have not been screwed down, right? The seat lifted up and pinched the back of my calf in it. So like, yeah, that I didn't enjoy. But like, if I'm on a roller coaster, I'm enjoying it. So like, I don't not enjoy Apollo's Chariot, but like when you're an enthusiast, like you have certain things that you're and like Apollo's Chariot is not the one for me. But Leviathan is great. I just hate their wing, like the dive coasters, the wing coasters. I'm just like, are you trying to put me to sleep? It's like, do something with it. Do something with it instead of just making a capacity machine. Do something interesting with this.
True. But I will say though, speaking of seats, the one ride that I'm glad is gone is the Green Lantern and Great Adventure.
Didn't like her.
It's a standing coaster, and I haven't done the one in SeaWorld yet because I'm afraid to, because you're standing, but there's still a seat under you, literally like punching your sensitive areas, and it's not fun at all.
Mm-hmm.
Shameful.
Demi, I don't know where it went wrong, because I was lucky enough to get to ride Green Lantern as Chang at Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom.
Oh, wow.
And I was obsessed with, I rode it nonstop. And I don't know where things went awry. I really don't. I mean, I would have, I would have loved to. Look, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to do and how they're going to change it. I personally would not have been upset if they just had 2 floorless coasters in the park with Medusa and with Green Lantern. I kind of wouldn't have been mad at it. I don't know what it is. I really like the layout of Green Lantern. I think it's a really fun layout. But yeah. Where was I going with that? I was like, yes, Green Lantern, yes, squirrel. Okay, great.
It's all just dragging B&M. It all goes into the dragging B&M soup, because
why have you? Okay, why do you think? And look, I'm not mad at it. Like, I got to ride the OG B&M in my home park, Iron Wolf. So like the fact that their roots were a stand-up coaster together, like starting off, still blows my mind first and foremost.
Yeah.
But then also, I want to know why the decision to revisit the stand-up coaster model, knowing how unpopular it is.
Yeah.
I want to know why.
Because I think SeaWorld probably got a discount on the prototype, and they were like, "Oh, this is like really." I really do genuinely think that's what it was, and I think that's why. So
I just thought it looks different, so it's like marketing appeal, like, oh, look, a different type of thing.
That too, yeah. No, I think you're right. I absolutely think you're right, and I think that it is different from the other stand-up models, and that the seat does move up and down, and it's only 2 across. It is launched, so I mean, like, there's. To me, it seems like it was something that was sitting in like the design back burner, and then SeaWorld was like, we're on a budget, but we really like working with B&M. Like, do you have any sort of like, what kind of things do you have that has never been seen before? Like, well, we have this prototype. Like, if you want, we'll give it to you for cheap, and then we'll throw in a kids coaster too for like a discount if you buy 2. So then like Penguin Trek comes the year after. I think that's what happened, because we have not. It got good reviews. Like the Surf Rider has
Demi, before, yeah? You haven't done it yet?
I haven't done that one yet, because I usually only end up at SeaWorld when they invite me to like an event, so I'm always busy like covering the events. And then I took our friend Craig to Hallow Scream, and he was like, we have to at least make time to ride Mako. So I was like, okay. And so like I was forced to. So I have to like learn to like make more time. But I also just I do want to go back to SeaWorld, but I feel like whenever I make SeaWorld content, nobody cares. Like that's why I don't really go there that often.
Because nobody cares about SeaWorld.
Nobody does care about SeaWorld.
It's awful. It is awful. Like I have never in my life been more pissed off about operations at a park than I was when I went there for the first time last year.
I still have the text thread. I mean,
Oh,
obviously.
I was like
Yeah.
unleashing my fury to Jeremy. I was like, this is so ridiculous. They're running one train on Icebreaker. I'm like, what is wrong? What is wrong with you?
That's so rough.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
I don't
makes sense.
know.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Before we move into our lightning round, Jeremy, we'll end this question with, does your favorite coaster designer actually suck? Currently, right now, B&M, does it actually suck? Because I say yes.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, yay. It's okay. The first step is to admit it.
Like,
yes.
I as of now, yes. If you would have asked me in like the 90s, early 2000s, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. But right now, like, you gotta, in the words of RuPaul, you gotta gotta step it up.
Hear that, B&M? You gotta step it up. I don't know if anybody has ever told B&M that before in the history of Earth, but you just did.
The first time, happy to be an apprentice, maybe, sure.
Well, I think that's a great segue into our lightning round portion of this episode. Jeremy, we always ask our guests some lightning round questions, and we want you to answer them quick and short as you can get it to be, because those are going to be the most fun. So just don't think about it too hard and just give us your best quick answer. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, and here we go. What is the perfect park day?
April 3rd. That's the wrong day, but it's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket.
We'll take it.
Take it.
No, yeah, a day that, a perfect day. Not Florida in the summer.
Take that too.
If you could bring back one defunct attraction, what would it be?
Steel Phantom, the original.
What is your favorite bathroom at Disney and Universal?
Figment bathrooms, 100%.
Yes.
Figment bathrooms at Epcot, and then 3 broomsticks just because Moaning Myrtle.
What is your favorite park hack?
Cheesy garlic pretzel bread with Plaza Inn chicken at Disney.
Boom. What is your favorite non-Disney, non-Universal park?
Cedar Point.
What is your favorite place to drink in the parks?
Lamplight Lounge. Oga's Cantina.
Okay. What is your most embarrassing park moment ever of all time?
Getting off Mission Space for the first time and literally having a meltdown in a moment. Yeah, it was not cute. Might have fiddled myself a little bit as well. Yeah, I felt so bad for the people I rode with. It was really traumatizing for all. Yeah.
Well, not me laughing at that, but also me laughing at that. When was the last time you cried in a park, and why?
Riding Flight of Passage not too long ago. I cry every time I ride that ride. It is one of the most beautiful attractions that's ever been created.
Agree. And who are your park peeps?
Who are my park peeps? You two up car. Hello.
Well,
hello. Yeah, I mean, my park peeps. I'm such a solo goer. I mean, recently my friends Matt and Lisa and Roxy. Yeah, those are the ones that I've seen the most recently. So Matt, Lisa, and Roxy.
I just met Roxy for the first time in January. This is the same Roxy we're talking about?
Andrews?
I wish. Oh, I wish. No, but Roxy I loved her. I mean, she's just one of those people that I immediately was just like, I vibe with you immediately. And she and I still talk. I love her so much. Yeah, she's great.
Oh, by the way, revising my answer. Favorite park cap? Rope dropping. Hello.
Oh.
That was a bad answer.
Okay. Peppermint fingers for you. You know what? What better way to send you out than with an incorrect answer, Jeremy? Thank you so much for doing this and for just like geeking out with me and Demi for, the past hour over coaster dork stuff and sharing your story with us. So, I mean, we laughed, we cried, we shamed Bulliger and Mabillard. Like we
proved Joey wrong about Hagrid's.
Joey wrong about Hagrid's. Yes, we did. I am still convinced, Jeremy, when you ride Velocicoaster, you're going to be like, what was I thinking?
I will
saying
be
that
there
Hagrid's
the day
is better.
that Jeremy rides Velocicoaster just to prove you wrong.
Add it to the travel list.
Front row or back row first? Or just in the middle?
For Velocicoaster?
What should I do
like
first?
front for Velocicoaster.
Oh,
Some rides, I'm normally a backseat girly, but like, because I like the fast whip. But I don't know, it's just so like the views on Velocicoaster are so great.
I would say, I every time I ride Velocicoaster, I'm backseat, and there's a very few rides that I'm front seat. Thunderhead is one of them. Lightning Rod is another. Lightning Rod is a front seat ride all the way. I think you should do backseat first on Velocicoaster. Do back first on Velocicoaster.
Front's so much, but I'm going to tell you why front's better because you don't have any spoilers for the ride, right? At this point, right? So when there's nobody in front of you, like you're not, you're getting the whole POV of everything in front of you.
You're right. Yeah, do it front seat first and then back seat, and then every time after you'll be a backseat rider on that, I think.
I'm anticipating going down the top hat in the back row, and I'm going to be lovely.
You're not prepared. You're not prepared.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Jeremy. It was so fun talking with you.
Yes.
Can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me on all platforms as Jerendelle. On TikTok, it's Jerendelle, Jeremy and Arendelle. On Instagram, it's Jerendelle Official. Same with YouTube. Jerendelle.
Yeah.
One more scream. All right. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, thanks for coasting along through this episode with us, and a big thank you to Jeremy, aka Jerendelle, for riding with us. Keep up with all of my YouTube coverage of theme parks at Magical Hijinks. That's HIJINX. And make sure to stay up to date with the Park Peeps podcast at Park Peeps Pod for more fun outside of the pod on socials, on all of the socials.
And also, please follow me at Joey Nolfi on all of the socials, and give us a comment and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast so you don't miss our next special guest, hot take, and more when we return next week for another episode. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye.